Hi, well, hello, welcome to our listeners. Today, I'm really thrilled to be talking to Dr. Martin Coward, who is a reader in international politics at the University of Manchester. And he's also the lead editor of BISA's Review of International Studies Journal, or RIS, as it is commonly known. A very warm welcome to you, Martin. It's great to see you.
Hi. Nice to see you too.
Great. Well, let's get straight onto it. And let me start by asking you about your role as lead editor of RIS. You took over in 2019 along with 6 other co-editors. How have you found the first 18 months of running the journal?
Oh, well, it's been busy. It's been exciting. It's been a bit challenging. So there are 7 of us. There are 4 of us at Manchester, myself, Matthew Patterson, Maya Zafus, and Andrea Zevnik. And then there are 3 other editors, Richard Devatek in Australia, Nisha Shah in Canada, and Carolina Mullen in Brazil. So it's quite a geographically spread out team. It's been very busy. RIS gets about 300, over 300 submissions a year. So we're constantly getting submissions, and it's been busy settling into that routine. It's been fascinating. I'm really lucky to be able to receive and read emerging research from across the discipline on a regular basis. That's been really interesting to see. And of course, it goes without saying that in the middle of COVID, it's also been really challenging. You know, I know that it's been challenging for us as a team. We were due to, for example, all meet up in after the BISA conference in June, but of course nobody can travel at the moment, so that was not possible. I know it's been challenging for our authors. We've seen it in terms of the effect it's had on submissions and also on ability of authors to do things like respond to revise and resubmit decisions. So it's been a mixture of it's been a mixture of things.
Yeah, right. And so could you just tell us a little bit about the journal for those who may not know? What sort of publication is it? What do you publish? That sort of thing.
Yeah, sure. RIS is what we might call a generalist international relations journal. We publish excellent, groundbreaking international relations research from across the discipline. And as an editorial team, we see international relations very broadly. And we would like to extend that to include interdisciplinary study with what we might call kind of cognate disciplines. So where international relations meets geography, anthropology, sociology, cultural studies, that kind of thing. So we publish a wide range from international political economy, through security studies, through international relations theory, through a variety of kind of regional specialisms and so on. One of the things I notice as editor taking over, I mean, RIS has a really long and I think, excellent history of publishing right across the discipline. And if you look at, for example, our most cited articles, both all time and in the last 10 years, it's a huge range of different subjects, from sort of regional powers through the nature of security, through liberal intervention, through kind of the role of cultural kind of artifacts like images, through to kind of methodological debates like the importance of autoethnography as a method in international relations. So it's a very wide and broad journal. And I think the most important thing for us is that we publish what we think of as articles that start debates or make really important contributions to those debates. We want to publish groundbreaking, original research that really gets conversations moving or changes the direction in which those conversations are moving.
That's very interesting. And so do you, when you think about having only taken over 18 months ago, do you have a sort of vision for the future, aspirations for where the journal's going to go? It sounds amazing anyway, but do tell us.
Yes, I mean, when we took over, we have a number of goals that we'd like to reach in the next 4 years. I mean, it's obviously more complicated because we can't get out and meet people and talk to authors directly in the way that we used to be able to at conferences. But I would say that, I mean, our goal at the moment is to try and achieve at least 2 things. I mean, one is we're very keen to see the diversity of authors and reviewers for the journal improve. RIS has made quite a lot of progress in changing the gender balance of authors. About 30% of the authors that submit to RIS are women, or that's slightly higher number because of the way it's counted. But about 50% of those we accept, articles that we accept, are authored by women. So I think we've come some way. The previous editorial team made big kind of progress in terms of kind of changing that. But there are other underrepresented areas of the discipline, not least underrepresented minorities and authors in the Global South, and we would like to see them better represented in RIS. We have ideas about how to do that, including in the next sort of 12 months, organizing workshops for early career scholars and Global South scholars who have papers that are close to submission but would value the input of editors before submission. We also want to identify and champion what we might call emerging areas of debate. I mean, often when a particular topic is emerging as a kind of topic of discussion, it can struggle to get into journals. And we've reserved forum space, and we've reserved some workshop time with editors to try and put together forums on emerging questions and topics that we think will be important in the next 5 to 10 years.
Wow, well I really look forward to hearing lots more about that. All those ideas sound fascinating.
Well, one thing to say is that BISA will be, in early November, BISA will be hosting a webinar on the first of these forums, which is about the kind of interventionary strategies, the way in which, if you like, kind of states engineer particular kinds of infrastructures to create different types of political power. And we think this is an emerging debate around kind of how infrastructures work internationally. And we'll be organizing a forum. And the first event, I think, is on November the 5th. You can find it on the BISA website, I believe. It's on November the 5th, where we'll be kicking off that forum.
Great. Well, definitely one to look out for. That sounds really interesting. I'm just thinking, if you're listening to this and you're a scholar, whether here in this country or from the Global South or wherever you might be, can you, and you've got something that you want to submit, can you tell us what you're looking for when you receive those submissions? Have you got any tips for our listeners, perhaps?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of mystery around the process of kind of submitting, and also the process of what we call desk rejecting, which is rejecting an article before we put it into review. It's worth saying that RIS receives in excess of 300 submissions a year, and we can only put about 35% of those into review. So lots of them get rejected before they ever get reviewed. How do we make those decisions? I think we're looking for three things. So I'd say the first thing we're looking for is we're looking for the originality of the contribution to shine through. So what is it that you're saying that hasn't been said before? And I suppose hand in hand with that goes the question of the significance of that contribution. Why does the discipline need to hear this? Now, I appreciate that not everybody can speak to the whole discipline. That would be an unreasonable expectation. There are so many kind of subfields within the discipline. So the question really is, how does this contribute to the debates in your subfield, and what's the significance of that contribution? So I'm looking for that to shine through. I think then the second question is, often we end up rejecting our submissions because they haven't really engaged with the literature enough. So there's a kind of question about, you've got this kind of great idea, you've got this kind of original contribution, but have you shown where it fits in with what has already been said, and are you speaking to that? And then I think that there are questions about the kind of empirical material you include. We do publish single case study articles. I think it's often a misconception that we don't, but we do. But then the question is, does the empirical material that you're discussing give people bigger insights? So if you're discussing, I don't know, how a particular political process has impacted on Mexico, the question is, could somebody who's not working on Mexico take those insights and apply them elsewhere? So I think it's kind of the contribution, the kind of how it fits into existing debates, and you know, the kind of question about, does the insight shine sort of, if you like, beyond the kind of immediate empirical material you're looking at?
Great. What great advice there. Thank you for, on behalf of all those listeners. I'm sure they're great to, you know, wonderful to hear those things. So finally, if you are out there and you want to submit something, what should you do?
Well, you can go to the Review of International Studies website, which is hosted by Cambridge University Press. And you can find on there the instructions for the authors, and there's a link to submit. Submit it online and it will get looked at by me, and if we decide to review your article, it will then get sent to another editor who will get it into review. I think there are just two things to say, which is stop and think if review is the right journal for you. We publish international relations in, you know, broadly conceived right across the discipline. Sometimes we do get things, you know, macroeconomics and stuff like that. That's not so much for us. So do stop and think about that. I think the other thing to say is, if you have questions, we're all pretty approachable people. We're completely happy for you to email us, even if you don't know us already. That's not a problem at all. Email us and we will, you know, respond to questions you have about whether your submission is suitable, or how the review process works, or that kind of thing.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Martin. It's been really interesting to hear from you how well things are going at RIS, hear your thoughts on the future, and also, I guess, most importantly, you know, as lead editor, what you're looking for to get your work submitted. So thank you very much indeed. If you are a BISA member and you're interested in looking up RIS articles, you can access these free of charge as part of your membership. You can do that by logging onto your account at https://app.sheepcrm.com/BISA/login. If you're not a member, you might want to see if you can gain access via your institution. Having said that, I am pleased to say that there are some free virtual issues. There's one on global health and international relations, and there's also one on Trump and IR. So well worth looking at those up. There's also a collection of all the previous prize winners, the articles to do with that. So again, well worth having a look. Again, also, if you're interested in learning more about BISA and the benefits of membership, please do visit our website, which is www.bisa.ac.uk. That's it. Otherwise, I just want to say thank you again to Martin. It's been fantastic talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And thanks for listening.